Well, good evening. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Marisol Colquitt, author of Finding True Love Through Online Dating, a Christian Woman's Guide, now available as a paperback and ebook on Amazon, as well as eBay, as well as my website, www.marisolcolquitt.com. Tonight I wanted to do something or address something different. And tonight I wanted to talk about overcoming loneliness because actually last night I came across an article on yahoo.com saying that the number one health epidemic right now in America is loneliness. It has become a health pandemic, and the trend has just continuously spiked. So the trajectory is just steadily getting higher, meaning a lot of people are dealing with anxiety, depression, and tragically, some of course end up in suicide. So I felt that a lot of people can relate to that, especially the ones who have been single for many years or for decades. You know, you've been waiting, you've been wanting to be at least in a relationship or get engaged, and of course get married eventually, but nothing is happening. There's no prospect around you, and I know how hard that can get. But not only you, but there's so many people, even teenagers apparently, are committing suicide because they're dealing with loneliness, isolation, and they can't relate to their peers, or they feel like they're being marginalized or ostracized. So sadly, a lot of people are committing suicide, and I'm pretty sure you're aware that a lot of law enforcement officers are also committing suicide. And actually, that's the reason why I started this video channel or YouTube channel, because I felt like there are many hurting people out there, and there are many lonely people out there, and I'm really here not to lecture or to give a sermon, but I'm here to listen. And in fact, there was a lady that I met at church, and she came, and she'll probably hear this, and I hope that she doesn't mind me sharing the fact that she came by. And as I listened to her, I was like, Lord, she's such a strong woman. I couldn't help but be inspired by her story, because she went through a lot, and you could see how God has sustained her, and she's still strong, she's still standing tall. And I know and I believe that God has great plans for her, and I pray that she will find somebody, or somebody will find her, because she really deserves the best, just like you deserve the best. So what can you do as a single woman or man to overcome loneliness? Well, for me, number one is, and this was always my go-to basically, or something, the number one rule: find a local church. Wherever God sends me, when I was in the Philippines, I was an active member of a church. When I was in Dubai, I was an active member of a church. One church for 11 years. No, 10 years, because I didn't join on my first year. I had Bible studies that I was leading initially. And then, of course, when we moved to Shreveport, when I was in Orlando, I was a member of a church. Then we moved to Shreveport. I joined my husband's church, of course. He was a member of that church for 11 years. And then when we moved to Dallas, first 2-3 years we were part of one church. And then now that we're here in another city, we joined another church, and it's been 1 year already. And we've just cultivated relationships, not just with our pastors, but other church members. In fact, next month we've invited another family. I'm hoping that we can host them here, and they're really excited about it. So when you find a local church, and you know what, you can always test out a church, okay? You don't have to join the first church that you attend. Get a feel, and then if you feel comfortable, you feel like that's the church the Lord is leading you to, then stay. but you shouldn't feel obligated to join a church just because you've come once, okay? Second one is join a Bible study. Preferably the same Bible study group of that church you're joining, but sometimes it's not possible. So you can also find a local Bible study, because sometimes there may not be a Bible study that's organized by your church in your city or in your hometown, so, or your little suburb. So you can look out for a Bible study that you can join, and again, get a feel of the people when you feel like, I'm not saying you have to focus on the people, but sometimes it really affects, because again, we're trying to overcome loneliness. If you're gonna feel isolated, if you're gonna feel unwelcome in that church or in that group, then there's no point in joining that, because the whole point of this is to overcome loneliness. So you want to find friends, you want to connect with people that you jive with, not just spiritually, but even socially, because you might want to do something, you might get out, grab coffee, or grab a bite, so you want to feel comfortable in the group that you're going to be joining. And then another thing that you could do is join a young adults group. My husband was a member of a church in Shreveport, but the church that he loved didn't really have a good what do you call this? There wasn't much happening for young adults or for singles, but he was a member of a former of a church before, and he knew that church was very active in young adults. So he joined their basketball, their volleyball group. So if there's something that a church that organizes and you think that you're passionate about, then go in and join. It's not a crime, so don't feel bad about joining another church's group if your own church doesn't really have much activity. In fact, my own pastor, he encouraged his own daughter to join another church activity, another church's activity, because he said, hey, I can't bring young men to church, but you can go out and join that church, because I know that church has a lot of single men. And that's exactly what she did, and guess what? She got married and brought the husband to her own church, because of course her father is the pastor. And then another one is find your passion. If you love book reading, then maybe, or if you love reading, then try and find a book reading club. That will definitely work, because that's something you're passionate about. And again, you don't have to look for a spiritual activity or religious activity. It could be a book reading club. It could be a knitting club if you're interested in knitting, or it could be people who love to hike. I just found that I was doing my research before this video. I've never heard of meetup.com, so you can actually create your own group and meet up, and then invite or find, let people join that group. Again, you can start your own book reading club. In fact, I'm going to start doing that, because I really want my husband and I to have an impact on singles, whether they're very young or young adults or young at heart. I want to have a group of singles that we can mingle with and encourage and inspire, and hopefully have an impact on their lives. My favorite, number 5, is travel. That's exactly what I did when I was single. I didn't want to sit around. I was active at church. I was active in my Bible study group. I was involved in so many committees. I was teaching Sunday school. I was part of the hospitality and the welcoming and all that. So I wanted to be a part of as many church committee as possible, whenever possible. And of course, I was hanging out with church mates, because I really didn't want to spend time alone at home, because I was living alone. So I wanted to make sure that I kept myself busy, and at least twice a year I traveled outside Dubai for my birthday, or for any other holidays. So thankfully when I was in Dubai, I was given, at least 2 weeks. You can actually take 1 whole month. So that's what I did. I traveled to Europe. I traveled to nearby countries or neighboring countries in the Middle East. I went to Israel, I went to Jordan. I went to Europe, and of course I've traveled Asia and all that. So, and the lessons that you learn is really life changing. It's so enriching. If you can afford it, I would really encourage you to go out and travel and meet people, embrace new culture, learn about their new culture, embrace diversity. That's the only way you can really expand your knowledge about the world and the people around you, because there's a vast world outside the United States or wherever you are right now. And you know what? You don't even have to go far. You can just go and attend a local event. There's a July 4th event, there's a Memorial Day event, there's a Labor Day event, and actually on Saturday I'm gonna invite somebody from church, and I wonder if she'll come with me. Maybe another friend from church, maybe invite them if they'd be interested in joining me in an Asian Pacific heritage celebration on Saturday. It's gonna be my first time to attend such an event in Texas, so I think it's gonna be exciting. And of course, I'm gonna be reacquainted with Filipino food and all the other yummy food that may not even be healthy, but I just crave them. And then the last but not least, go online. Try online dating again. Check out my book if you don't know where to start, what to do, what not to do, what to say, what not to say, what to write and what not to write. Check out my book, Finding True Love Through Online Dating, A Christian Woman's Guide by Marisol Colquitt. Just type it on Google, type it on Amazon, type it on eBay, or better yet, go on www.marisolcolquitt.com, COLQUIT.com, and check out my book. This has everything you need to know about online dating. And again, if you just want to chat with somebody, just want to talk, if you have questions, I'm here. I'm not here to minister. I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to evangelize. I'm just here to listen. I just want you to know that there's somebody out there who cares about you and knows what you're going through, knows what it's like to be single and waiting and lonely and feeling alone and feeling forgotten. But most of all, there's somebody who knows you way more than you will ever know yourself, and that is God. And I would love for you to know Jesus Christ, because he's been waiting for you to get to know him as well. And again, if this YouTube channel is being a blessing to you, please subscribe and hit the like button, because it's really gonna help my YouTube channel to grow, and I really want to reach as many people as possible, because I know that there are so many. Help me reach so many people that are hurting, that are feeling lonely. We don't want them to get lost, and we don't want them to give up. Okay? You are loved, you're special, you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're unique, and you're chosen. God loves you, and take care.